Okay guys, today you will need your single transformations or your summarize your findings worksheet that you should have received in class. We're going to summarize each part that causes an equation to transform and what that part causes. The first one, number one here, when you add a to x, if it is a positive a, it causes a translation to the left. If it is a negative a, it is a translation to the right. Okay? So a lot of times we would think, well, it's a plus a, so it's going to move to the right or in a positive direction. But anytime it is inside the parentheses, it does the opposite of what we think it's going to do. If we're adding a on the outside, like number 2, that if it's a positive a, it's a translation to, or it's a translation up. If it's a negative a, it's a translation down. Okay? If we have a multiplier on a, if we have a multiplier of a on x, directly on x, so once again it's inside of the parentheses like number 1, but it's a multiplier. If a is greater than 1, it is a horizontal compression. Okay? When a is less than 1, there's a horizontal stretch. Okay? Oops, put a C in there. Okay, our next one is a multiplier on f of x. When you're multiplying f of x and a is greater than 1, it's a vertical stretch. When a is less than 1, there's a vertical compression. Okay? When you have a negative in front of the x, it's inside. When it's inside in front of the x, that's a reflection. Over the y-axis. When the negative is outside, that's a reflection over the x-axis. Okay? Whoop, I put accent, should have been axis. Okay? The next two our absolute value transformations. One of them is happening inside, one of them is happening outside, and these two are very strange little things. The number 7, the f of the absolute value of x, that graph removes quadrant 2 and 3. Notice quadrant 2 and 3, they are the quadrants where x is where x is negative, I'm sorry. Okay? And then reflects quadrant 1 and 4 over the y axis. Okay? Number 8 is a little bit different. It's taking the absolute value of all the y values, the outputs, so it is going to reflect quadrants 3 and 4 over the x axis. Okay? I know this number 7 and number 8 are complicated. They're kind of an awkward read, but we are going to go ahead and do an example of that just so you see exactly what I'm talking about. The first one, y equals f of the absolute value of x. What happens, for example, if we got this graph that maybe it does like so. Okay. Well, the transformation is gonna reflect those quadrants 1 and 4. It's going to reflect quadrant 1 and 4 just like so over to quadrants 2 and 3, and then it removes the what used to be in quadrant 2 and 3, and that is the process. That's the process of performing a transformation of the absolute value of x. Now the other one is doing the absolute value of f of x. Okay. That particular function, we'll draw an example for this one. Like if you have a graph that does like so. What it said is you take quadrants, the quadrants 3 and 4, that's here, as well as here, and you reflect it across the x-axis. So you take this piece and you make it reflect up that way. This one, the same thing. And then you remove what used to be down there. And that way none of your y values are negative, because the absolute value of a negative is always positive, as well as a positive always negative. Okay? So that concludes the video. I want you to be prepared to identify examples transformation. Be prepared to identify examples of each transformation within the package we did in class. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.